Okay, so how do we use, how do we find values for the angles of rotation here? Let me get a spotlight going here. So remember, positive angles of rotation go counterclockwise around the circle, and negative angles of rotation go counterclockwise around the circle. And this exercise is asking me to find, this quiz questions asking me to find, homework quiz questions asking me to find, write a point that corresponds to an angle of rotation at 210 degrees. So one way to do this, because it is one of these angles, is just to look at a unit circle, and remember, this is a unit circle, so the radius is 1. You can kind of see that here and here. So then we're going to go around that circle till we find 210 degrees. And you see the 210 degrees here. And the unit circle is telling me that it's negative square root of 3 over 2 is x, and negative 1/2 is y. And that will certainly answer that question, and it does it, and it'll work for any angle that's on the unit circle. List the multiples of 30 and the multiples of 60. These are reference angles. The multiples of 45 and the quadrantial angles too. So that works. That'll get you the answer, and it's a good answer. I really would like to see you folks learn how to do this with reference angles too. That'll help you later on when you're trying to do a little bit more with this. I mean, how do I find the points that are not on a unit circle? Or how do I write? Sometimes I'll ask you to write it in terms of acute angles. So how do you do this with reference angles? Well, let me get a board turned on. I should have that on. Okay, so let me come back. Oops, undo that. Let me come right to the native that here. All right, so I know that an angle of 210 degrees is down here. So here's the reference triangle. And in order to find that reference angle, because the angle is more than 180, I'm going to do 180 degrees, 210 degrees minus 180 degrees. It makes up that makes up this part, right? And I get 30 degrees. That tells me the reference angle is 30 degrees. And then you got to think back to that work you did in geometry, probably, or integrated 2, if you did that route. And you got to remember, okay, so if I have a 30-60 right triangle, 30-60 right triangle, this is the hypotenuse, this side is half the hypotenuse, this side opposite, the 60-degree angle is 1/2 the hypotenuse times the square root of 3. Well, if the hypotenuse is 1, because we're on the unit circle, this side is just 1/2, and this side is just 1/2 times the square root of 3. And of course, we typically write that as the square root of 3 over 2. So this side's 1/2. This side is the square root of 3 over 2. And because these are down in quadrant 3, this angle down in quadrant 3, the x is negative, the y is negative. Let me make that longer. So what's the coordinates of the point on this unit circle? Well, x is negative square root of 3 over 2. Y is negative 1/2. And if you look at that unit circle, that's exactly what they have. So that's where they got it from. Being able to work with reference angles is really the preferred way that I'd like you to do it. It'll lead you, it'll get you leave you in a better place for AP Calculus. Okay, so hopefully that helps you do this question.